Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And with just over a month left until the Rugby World Cup, the very exciting times have begun in terms of teams announcing the official final Rugby World Cup squads. And we have just seen the All Black squad announced by Ian Foster, and a squad which some people are saying could all of a sudden be very much a World Cup winning squad, given the fact that New Zealand have started so well this year, have looked so much better, and are really starting to sort of find themselves again, and team selection has been very good. I think they're sort of really building their squad quite nicely, and a very interesting squad which was announced earlier today. It's a strong squad. It's a very strong squad. There are a couple of names which people are sort of querying. I think more sort of the makeup of the squad for me is quite interesting rather than the playing personnel themselves. For example, I think they've got about 5 wingers and you've got about 6 props. That 6 props itself is quite interesting. A lot of people are expecting most squads to kind of go with 5 props. So the makeup of the squad is for me is probably one of the most interesting, apart from sort of the players who aren't there. But I mean, at the end of the day, the big thing when you look at a squad is sort of how good is your that sort of best 23 you can put out, and how competitive will they be, and if there are certain injuries, certain positions, how well are they backed up? And I think the big thing about New Zealand is that you've got a pretty decent amount of depth. I do think there are a lot of players that can step in here and there quite aptly. But at the end of the day, 23 is very strong, and I think if they can get it right, they can get themselves to the right stage of the competition with the 23. I think they've got it in them to be able to beat anyone. So there's no doubt that they are definitely candidates to win the World Cup. Before we look at the squad itself, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. This is the squad that has been named. Now, first things first, captain will be Sam Cane, which is not really a surprise. He has been captain for the last 2 years, and he will officially be the captain for the World Cup as well. Looking a lot better as Sam Cane than he has in the last year or two. And if he gets back up to his best, there's no doubt that he is a starter for the All Blacks. So let's go through it, shall we? Dane Coles, Cody Taylor, Samasoni, Sakawara are the 3 hookers. They then go with Opa, Tunga, Farsi, Ethan de Groot, Tilla Lomax, Nepolo, Lala, Fletcher Newell, as well as Tamati Williams, the youngster who hasn't played a lot of Test rugby, so he's a bit of a bolter, I suppose. Did make his debut earlier this year against the Springboks. But again, going with 6 props for me is quite interesting. In terms of the actual which props there are, it's been pretty consistent with regards to who's been playing recently. So not too many surprises there. You then got Scott Barrett, Brody Retallick, Sam Whitelock, Tupou Vai as your locks. Scott Barrett can play on the flank if he needs to, but just hasn't done that. For me, one of the most informed players in the world at the moment. They've then gone with Sam Cane, Dalton Papali'i, Shannon Frizzell, Artie Sphere, Luke Jacobson. Kind of thought you'd probably have 1 or 2 maybe more forwards than the amount of backline players they've gone with. I don't think there's that many options. I suppose if you think about Scott Barrett, can play the flank potentially, but I mean to have gone with just sort of 5 loose forwards and 6 props, for me I would have thrown probably an extra loose forward or an extra lock in there potentially, and I wouldn't have necessarily gone with 6 props. The 3 scrum halves are interesting as well. Aaron Smith, Finley Christie, Cameron Roygard. I cannot understand how Brad Weber is not involved in the squad. That for me is mental. I mean, Roygard made his debut a couple of weeks ago. Finley Christie for me is a talented player, but for me is yet to really sort of step up and be comfortable in international rugby. I think he's had very good moments, but maybe lacking that consistency. And I think a player like Brad Weber for me should have been a shoo-in for the squad. I don't understand what thinking between him not being involved is, because that's definitely a selection that I would be making if I was in the position of Ian Foster, which of course I'm not. Bowden Barrett, Richie Mo'unga, David McKenzie are your sort of 10 options. You've got Geordie Barrett there, Antonetta Brown, Rico Warren, David Havili. Havili is very good to see him back. Got a few minutes over the weekend, I think, in provincial rugby. And then they've got Mark Talea, Clark, Lester Fanganuko, Imoni Narawa, and Will Jordan. It's an interesting selection for the backline players, because there are so many players who can play in different positions. When you think that Geordie Barrett now, in an inside centre and being named as a centre in the squad, which wouldn't have happened a year ago. But Bowden Barrett sort of named amongst the 10s, where he would probably play most of his rugby at full back. Will Jordan can play at full back and play on the wing, for example. So lots of different versatility. A lot of people are sort of quite surprised to see no Sean Stevenson there. One of the names that people are throwing around as somebody who's maybe quite unlucky to miss out, for example. But I think generally it's difficult to sort of see holes in that squad. I think generally every position is pretty well filled. It's a case of, I suppose, all the combinations getting right. I think Ricky Awani, for example, is really starting to pick things up and looking so much more comfortable in that 13 position. I think they've got a world-class player in most positions. I think that front row has really stood up recently, and all of a sudden, I think that's transformed them into a very competitive side. But yeah, what do you think? Can this team win the World Cup? Can the squad win the World Cup? Has the Infantino got it right? Who are they missing? Who would you like to have seen in the squad? Who do you think is lucky to be there? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.